beliefs. It was a while back. I think it was around 2012 when I started doing missionary work, and I traveled to distant countries to preach the word. So I was a Christian missionary. Some of you guys know that about me. So I spent 4 years in South America and particularly focused on this small town in Guyana that was near the border near Brazil. And in Guyana, it was English speaking, but the general religions there were Hindu or Muslim. And so, as a Christian missionary, the objective is to go in and help these people that you are just meeting for the first time in their country to learn about your beliefs and why they might consider changing their beliefs to your beliefs. So it takes a bit of grit and audacity, right, to come in and do that. And of course, it can seem quite daunting. After all, uh, people there may have been practicing their religion their whole life, and then there may have been generations before them where they have been the same in their beliefs. So now to come in and try to introduce a new way of thinking is a daunting task. But what I found doing this missionary work and talking to people and trying to help them to change their beliefs was that people's reasons for believing what they believe is not always as concrete as we might imagine it is. People's reasons for believing what they believe, sometimes it's just based on happenstance. For instance, a common reason why a person may believe in their current religion was because they would say, well, that's my parents' religion, and that's my grandparents' religion. So it becomes kind of like if it was good enough for them, I suppose it's good enough for me. So it's sort of like people are going with the flow in terms of their eternal future. And I found that to sit down with them, I was able to use a process to work with them and find success that I've been able to translate as tools that I use in working with people in the trauma healing field. Because in dealing with mental illness also is rooted in beliefs that are detrimental, beliefs that are detrimental, or false beliefs, right? But it's not so much if it's true or false that we have to look at it. It's, is this good for me to believe this? Is this good for me to believe, for instance, a thought like I'm dumb? A thought like I'm dumb is what I call a detrimental belief. Is it good for you to believe you are dumb? Is it true? Well, true is another statement, right? Because some of us are dumb in certain areas. In fact, all of us are probably dumb somewhere, right? In some field of study or understanding. Many of us lack the knowledge, the experience, the education, but it doesn't change the fact that that belief is detrimental to you. Why? Because it tears down the inner self. It tears down your ego, your sense of well-being, your belief in yourself. And so you have less confidence. You may develop higher anxiety and depression just for believing something like, I'm dumb, even though you might be able to make the argument that it's true. And so it goes with beliefs. If we're not careful, we may be harboring beliefs that are detrimental to our well-being, that are causing us mental illness. And we may not even have a good reason for believing them. A reason for believing some of these beliefs just might be we learned it from our parents, we were told it when we were children, just something we picked up along the way, a conclusion we came to. Perhaps we had a parent that wasn't loving, and then we came to a conclusion that we're not lovable. But now we have a detrimental belief that will cause us mental illness and relationship issues. We may have had a parent that was enmeshing, engulfing, meaning like over-involved and smothering. As a result, we may develop a belief that relationships are not safe, causing us to become avoidant in relationships, hurting others and ourselves. So detrimental beliefs can cause mental illness and relationship pain and trauma. So we have to take a look at ourselves and ask ourselves, do I have any detrimental beliefs? And the answer is probably, chances are, most of us do carry some detrimental beliefs. But to the extent that you allow these detrimental beliefs to rule, is the extent to which you will experience mental illness, anxiety, depression, low self worth, low self esteem, lacking a sense of self, not understanding who you are, not having confidence, social anxiety, and the list goes on. So, what can we do in order to change these beliefs that we've had our whole lives? We carry these beliefs around like computer programs. Really, we are programmed because our brain is like a computer system. And so these beliefs are operating in us like viruses or maladaptive programs, malware, right? So we have to change beliefs. So we got to get good at changing our beliefs. So I want to share with you the techniques that I use to help people to change their beliefs so that you can change your own beliefs. And if you're a clinician, you can help to change the beliefs of your clients. If you're a clinician, you should not think that you should just go with whatever your client suggests, the old Freudian way of dealing with mental illness. For instance, if your client suggests, I'm not lovable, the proper response is not, okay, well, maybe that's true. No, that will not be helpful to your client because it's not true about any human that they are not lovable, that they don't even have the potential in any way to be loved. Come now. What's worse is it's not beneficial to believe it. It will cause us mental illness. So we have to be good at helping our clients and helping ourselves and helping our children to develop beliefs that are beneficial, that are healthy, that are adaptive. So how do we do it? Well, I'd like to present to you a tool called stacking. It's called stacking. Stacking just means that you're going to make a list of 5 pieces of information that's going to be beneficial to changing your belief. Now, before I explain how this tool works, I need you to understand something very miraculous that you may not have known before about beliefs. It's not hard to change our beliefs. It's not hard to change beliefs. It's not hard. A lot of people think, hey, if you have a belief such as I'm always going to be alone the rest of my life, or all men are evil, it could take years to change those beliefs because the general healing community prescribes to an idea that it will take you years and years to heal. It's easy for us to buy in to the concept that change comes hard over time. But I'm here to tell you it's not necessarily true. Change is not always hard. It doesn't always take lots of time. It doesn't necessarily hold true in all situations that it's going to take you years to change a belief, or even months, or even weeks. You can change instantaneously. It's one of the most beautiful things about being human. It's one of the most powerful gifts that we have, the ability to instantaneously change, to instantaneously switch our belief. I can prove it to you because you do this in your life all the time. You don't always just hold on to your old beliefs about things. You actually change your beliefs on things every day. Have you ever woken up in the morning and not realized what day it was? You kind of had it wrong. In fact, I did that just on Sunday. I thought it was Saturday. So I was ready for the Saturday activities, not realizing I had kind of been thrown off with the week with the hurricane and all that. So I was getting ready for the Saturday activities. And then friend sends a text message like, hey, you're going to be at the Sunday meeting. But Sunday, what? I was like, thank you so much for texting me. You made me realize what day it was. But what's interesting is I believed previously that it was Saturday. Then in just the text message, I believed that it was Sunday. My belief changed. instantaneously. You've done that before as well. You've thought that it was the wrong day, and then someone told you the right day, and then you might have glanced at a calendar or something, and then you realize, oh my gosh, I believe the wrong thing. And suddenly, what'd you do? You switched. So notice this pattern. Once you understand that your old way of thinking is wrong or inadequate or unproven or outdated, you are able to update your beliefs instantaneously. Recognize that pattern. You do it every day. When you wake up and you watch the news, for instance, and they say, oh, Israel has been attacked by such and so, you simply update your belief. You don't say, I don't know. They weren't getting attacked yesterday. I find this hard to believe. No, you're watching the images and you hear the newscaster and you change your beliefs. Okay, this is what's happening in the world right now. Does that make sense? You're able to change your beliefs. When you change your house, you live in a new house, you're able to, oh, I used to believe I lived here. Now I believe I live here. When you get a new car, you're not like, no, I think my old car is still my car. No, you're like pretty quickly able to change to, oh, this is my new car. I believe that now. I believe that that's my new car. We may still have that old program, right? Where you start driving to your old house or you start looking for your old car, but it's only a moment. And then you realize, oh, forgot there's a new belief. Doesn't change the fact that you have the ability to switch your beliefs instantaneously. Keeping that in mind. When you're holding on to old beliefs that are detrimental to you, such as, I'm not lovable, I'm unlikable, I'll never have any friends, no one that I love will ever love me. I should already be further in life than I am right now. All men are, all women are detrimental beliefs. I am to blame for everything that happened. I am a horrible mother. I am a failure as a mother. These are detrimental beliefs. I can read people's minds. I can read people. Detrimental belief. We can change them instantaneously. How? Using stacking. With stacking, what we do is we make a list of 5 pieces of evidence to support a new belief. With stacking, we make a list, 5 pieces of evidence to support a new belief. If you're a clinician, you can do this while you're in session with your client. You can have them write and you simultaneously write 5 pieces of evidence to support the new belief. Is it that simple? Yes. You must first identify what you would like to believe, because we as human beings, we have the miraculous, godlike ability to decide what we want to believe. And then you take a pen, a piece of paper, and you write down the evidence to support your new belief. We can also use this to build self-confidence. Let me show you how. So imagine that you're not feeling confident. That's a belief issue. That means you don't believe in yourself. So we can use stacking to make a list of 5 pieces of evidence to support the new belief. So if the new belief then is that I can believe in myself, and the question I have to ask myself as I'm making my list is, what are some pieces of evidence? What are some pieces of evidence that support that I can believe in myself? You can do this with me right now on your piece of paper. What are some pieces of evidence that support that I can believe in myself? And you start out number 1. You might think of something you've done before where you were successful. You go, oh, you know what? I was able to get that certification when no one supported me. I had to support myself, put myself through the class, and got that certification. That is one piece of evidence for why I can believe in myself. And you write it down. Certification. Number 2, what's another piece of evidence that I can believe in myself? Well, you know what? I have a good heart. I have a good heart. I know I have good intentions. That's something I just know about myself. It's one piece of evidence. Put it down. I have a good heart. What's another piece of evidence that you can believe in yourself? Well, when I put my mind to it, I can get things done. Like the way I eventually got the grocery list done and eventually got the car fixed. When I put my mind to it, I can get things done. And you write it down. What's another piece of evidence that you can believe in yourself? You can make your own list, by the way, as we're going here. I'm just demonstrating for you how this works. Piece of evidence I can believe in myself. We may have to think. We may have to think, but don't give up. Pieces of evidence I can believe in myself. How about the fact that other people trust me? That's a piece of evidence. Other people trust me. They come to me for advice. They ask me for help. I'm going to write it down. It's one piece of evidence that I can believe in myself. Okay, now I'm at number 5. What is the fifth reason, the fifth piece of evidence to support that I can believe in myself? Boy, I really have to dig for this one. Let me think. A fifth piece of evidence, a fifth reason I can believe in myself. How about a reason why I should believe in myself, which is that I'm the only person who will always be there for me. That's good. I'm the only person that will always be there for me. So after you finish this exercise, you just go back and reread your answers. All right, well, I got that certification. I have a good heart. I get things done. Other people trust me. I'm the only person that will ever be there for me. Take a moment and assess how you feel. That's called meditation. Just taking a moment to pause and think. I do feel a little bit more confident. I feel like I believe in me a little bit more than I did before I started this exercise. Voila, it's done. You've changed your belief. You used to not believe in you. Now you believe in you. How did you do that? By stacking evidence. The best thing we can base our beliefs on is evidence. It's the best thing we can base our beliefs on. Evidence. Got to stack the evidence. That's what they do in a trial, right? In a court case. The defense is going to stack the evidence to why their client should be exonerated, while the prosecution is going to stack the evidence as to why the plaintiff or whatever, no, the defendant should be jailed. This is how it works in law. This is how it works for you. You must put on a court case in your brain, a little battle with the evidence stacked up to determine what is the best belief or to determine your new belief in order to convince yourself. Because what we're trying to do is get the feelings to catch up with the thoughts instead of following the feelings. A lot of times people believe things because that's just how they feel. Well, I feel unlovable, right? Sometimes people believe things because that's what their parents told them. That's the program. Sometimes people don't even know why they believe what they believe. So what can you do if you're having trouble with this? You set it up, you're working it out, you stack up your evidence to support your belief. That's what you're stacking, your evidence to support your belief. And you feel like, I don't know, there's still part of me that believes the other thing. Well, what you want to do is you want to examine it, like do an investigation. Why? What is the evidence otherwise? The evidence to support the counter argument, and write it down. If there's evidence that's in your head, one or two pieces of intrusive thoughts, negativity, write them down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to stack again. This time you're going to stack against the opposing belief. Let me show you how that's done to make sure you understand. So right now we just did this exercise where I've got 5 reasons why I should believe in myself. I got certification, I got a good heart, I get things done, other people trust me, and I'm the only one I should believe in myself because I'm the only one who's going to always be there. Okay, good. So I've got that, but let's say I have an intrusive thought like, Well, but you've made a lot of mistakes in the past. So I go, oh, what's that feeling? I feel like I still can't believe in. Why don't I feel like I can't believe in myself? Oh, it's because I have this thought. What is the thought? What's the evidence? Oh, I've made mistakes in the past. Okay, good. Write it down. I've made mistakes. Good. Now, what do I need? I need to stack 5 pieces of evidence against the prosecution. 5 pieces of evidence against the prosecution. In other words, we're going to rip their argument to shreds. This is how you do it. This is very important for mental health. Hope you guys are following along. So, what are 5 reasons why this idea that I've made mistakes in the past is a unacceptable accusation? It's an unacceptable reason to not believe in myself. Why is that unacceptable? I've made mistakes in the past. All right, now I start stacking the evidence. What do I got? Well, one, because everyone makes mistakes. So by that definition, then I wouldn't be able to trust anyone. That's number one. Number two, whatever mistakes I made in the past, it may be because didn't have the knowledge, didn't have the education, or didn't have the confidence at the time. So it wasn't always my fault when I made those mistakes in the past. Okay. What other reasons can I find to eviscerate this idea that because I made mistakes, I can't believe in myself? Well, I might go back to what I was saying before about why it's more beneficial to believe in myself, so I can talk about why it's detrimental to believe making mistakes means that I can't believe in myself. It would be detrimental to believe that making mistakes means I can't believe in myself, because then that would create a fear of failure. And failure shouldn't be feared. Failure should be embraced as a process towards success. Now I have another reason why this idea is unacceptable. Even before you finish the exercise, you may be ready to abandon that intrusive thought and change your beliefs, because you're like, oh, wow, yeah, this is, ugh. Oh, because this is the voice of my mother. Yeah, that's the just the critical voice of my mother. Yeah, yeah. And I wouldn't say that to my child. That's another reason. That's abusive. I wouldn't say that to my child. So now I look at the evidence against believing that since I made mistakes, I can't believe in myself. It's abusive. It's a voice of my mother. It promotes a fear of failure. Everyone makes mistakes, and some of the mistakes I made weren't even my fault. And what happens? Now we're on the mark. Again, we're able to believe in the new belief that we adopted. Stacking can be used in a variety of ways. So you might have seen me do this in our lives on Wednesday. I'll use stacking to help clients with guilt. So with guilt, we're going to stack 5 reasons why you're justified in your decision. 5 reasons why you're justified in your decision. Because when we feel guilt, what it is, we're focusing on all the reasons why we might be wrong for doing what we did. But we don't have to focus there. We don't have to believe in that we're wrong, because that belief, too much of that guilt, too much of that negative self-belief is going to be detrimental. It's going to bring us down. So you stack up 5 reasons why you're justified in doing what you did. Oh, I feel guilty that I had to cut my dad off. Well, I had to do it because he's abusive. I had to do it because he's abusive to children. I had to do it because he's toxic to me. I had to do it because he's never going to change. I had to do it because he shows no remorse. Okay. Once you analyze and you meditate on your justifications for your actions, your guilt diminishes, and you're not feeling punished by the guilt anymore. So we're changing the emotional state by changing the mental perception. We have to focus on the evidence that supports the belief. The evidence that supports the belief. Which belief do we want? The one that's most beneficial. Don't worry about what's more true. Worry about what's more beneficial. Because when a boxer goes into the ring against his opponent, they don't try to tell him the truth. Hey, look, Larry, I got a level with you. You go in there in that ring today and you're risking your life. The other guy, he's got a punch that's so hard, it can kill you. So as we're walking to this ring, just let me break down some more truth for you. You can lose everything. You can lose your money, your house, your car, your family. You can lose your life. You should be really afraid. What you're doing, you really picked a dangerous profession. You understand? Is this how you talk to a boxer before he goes in the ring? No, everything I'm saying is true. You understand? Don't look for what's true. You look for what's beneficial. Every athlete knows you have to talk your teammates up. You got to talk yourself up. So how do they talk to the boxer? They say, "You're the champ. You're the champ. You got this. He's nothing. You don't even see your opponent. There is no opponent. You are the champ. You're the one. You're the strongest. You're the best. You're a bear. Float like a butterfly. Sting like a bee." Right? That's how you talk to someone who's going in against their opponent. Please recognize that you also are going into a battlefield. You're going into a ring every day against forces, some of them bigger than you, stronger than you. You need to talk yourself up. You need to aggrandize your ego. And you're not doing that if you're giving voice to negative, intrusive, detrimental thoughts and hanging on to old, detrimental beliefs. Is all this making sense? The using the tool of stacking, it only takes a few minutes. So it's nothing that you can't do. It's nothing that you can't do. It's good to use also when you did hear something toxic, right? Someone today just told me secondhand what someone else said about me. It was toxic. So I had to use stacking. I had to go, oh man, I didn't like what they said about me. It makes me feel bad. Even though they didn't even say it to me directly, I got it secondhand filtered through another person and it's still toxic. So when you get toxic information about yourself, something someone said that doesn't make you feel good, stack. Stack the evidence as to why you shouldn't believe or care about what that person said or care about what that person thinks. And then you'll feel more leveled again. Got to stack. When you have an intrusive thought that goes against that belief, sit down and list out your reasons why that intrusive thought is not going to be accepted as evidence. And in this way, you're putting on a little court in your head and you're choosing, with you as the judge, what's going to be the prevailing belief system. So, congratulations in advance for having more self confidence, for having more self love, and being more healed than ever before. This is going to be a game changer for you. And I'm really excited.